Greetings children. This video lesson is on the exercise part of a bicycle in good repair. Those who haven't watched the explanation part of this lesson, please subscribe the channel and go watch and come back. Look at the first working with the text. Answer the following questions. Did the front wheel really wobble? What is your opinion? Give a reason for your answer. Was the front wheel really wobbled? No. The front wheel did not wobble when the narrator's front came there. Look at the second question. In what condition did the author find the bicycle when he returned from the tool shed? When the author returned from the tool shed, he found that the front wheel of the bicycle was removed and his friend kept the front wheel between his legs. Look at the third question. Nothing is easier than taking off the gear case. Comment on or continue the sentence in the light of what actually happens. What actually happens? Saying this, the narrator's friend removed the gear case and he lost the bolts inside the gear case and he made a mess there. And he found it was so difficult for him to replace the gear in its proper place. Come to the fourth question. What special treatment did the chain receive? First, he tightened the chain. He tightened the chain at an extent that the machine could not move. Then he loosened it twice as loose as before. Look at the fifth question. The front has two qualities. He knows what he is doing and is absolutely sure it is good. Find the two phrases in the text which mean the same. The two phrases are cheery confidence and inexplicable hopefulness. Look at the sixth question. Describe the fight between the man and the machine. Find the relevant sentences in the text and write them. The cycle was in good condition when the front came. He found some fault with the machine. He told his friend that the front wheel was wobbling. He removed it. Then he failed to replace the front wheel at its place. Then he turned his attention towards the gear case. He removed that also. And slowly he removed the chain. Then he started replacing all these parts of the cycle back to its place. But he couldn't. And the author found one thing that, like a living being, the cycle started reacting with the front. And finally, a fight broke out between these two, the bicycle and the front. And you can also quote some sentences from the textbook. Now come to the next, working with the language. Read the following sentences. We should go for a long bicycle ride. I ought to have been firm. We must not lose any of them. Now working with language. Read the following sentences. We should go for a long bicycle ride. I ought to have been firm. We must not lose any of them. I suggested that he should hold the fork and that I should handle the wheel. These 4 sentences taken from the textbook. Look at the instructions here. The words in italics. What are the italics words? Should, ought to, mustn't, here should, and here should. These are called modal auxiliaries. They are called modal auxiliaries. So, modal auxiliaries are used with verbs to express notions such as possibility, permission, willingness, obligation, necessity, etc. Should, must, and ought to generally express moral obligation, necessity, and desirability. So, these 3 modal auxiliaries auxiliaries means helping. Modal helping verb. These are. Look at the following. We should go on a holiday. So should, must, and ought to generally express moral obligation, necessity, and desirability. So we are going to learn which modal verb is used for moral obligation, necessity, and desirability. Among these 3, should, must, and ought to. These are the 3 modal auxiliaries we are going to look into. Look at the first sentence. We should go for a long bicycle ride. What type of sentence is this? This is a suggestive sentence. Suggestion or an advice. We should go for a long bicycle ride. That's a suggestion. 2 friends, they suggest for a long bicycle ride. Look at the next sentence. I ought to have been firm. So his own responsibility that is expressed here. I ought to have been firm. So here ought to have been. Ought to is expressing the obligation. It is his moral obligation to be firm. I ought to have been firm. Look at the next sentence. We mustn't lose any of them. This sentence is spoken by the narrator's friend. He said, we must not lose any of them. The necessity of each and every ball he was talking about. So, must not lose, must not, that is necessity. Look at the next. I suggested that. It is already suggestion. I suggested that he should hold the fork. So for suggestion we use should. You or he should hold the fork and that I should handle the wheel. Now come to the sentences given here. Now come to the sentences given here. Look at the following. We should go on a holiday. Suggestion. It is a good idea for us to go for a holiday. So we should go on a holiday. It's a suggestion. So for suggestion we can use should. We should go on a holiday. It is a good idea for us to go on a holiday. That is only a suggestion. Look at the second sentence. He is not well these days. He must see a doctor before he becomes worse. Here it's a compulsion or necessity. So when compulsion or necessity arrives, we use the modal verb must. It is absolutely essential or necessary. So these conditions, absolutely essential or absolutely necessary, if we reach or if we express a situation like this, that is absolutely essential or absolutely necessary, we use must. So here it is absolutely necessary for him to see a doctor. To see means to consult. To consult a doctor. Look at the next sentence. You ought to listen to me. I am well over a decade older than you. Here, more emphatic than should. Since I am older than you, it is advisable that you listen to me. So, should or ought to can be used for advice, but ought to is more formal and more emphatic than should. That is the difference. Let us learn more. Rewrite each of the following sentences using should, ought to, must in place of the italicized words. Make other changes wherever necessary. Look at the first sentence. You are obliged to do your duty irrespective of consequences. So here italicized words are obliged to. So you must do your duty irrespective of consequences. Then you write this also, irrespective of consequences. So why we use must in the place of obliged to? Because this is more powerful than the other two, should and ought to. Should or ought to. Because this is a must do situation. This is our obligation, do our duty. Whatever be the consequences, never mind it, we have to perform our duty. So that is a must do situation. So more emphatic of the three we have to use here. Look at the second question. You will do well to study at least for an hour every day. So this is a kind of suggestion. So for suggestion we use should. You should study at least for an hour every day. You should study at least for an hour every day. This is only a suggestion, not a compulsion, not a moral obligation, nothing. This is only a suggestion. So for simple suggestions, we can use the modal auxiliary should. Look at the next sentence. The doctor says it is necessary for her to sleep 8 hours every night. Look at here. It's a necessary situation. Necessary means compulsory. For compulsory and necessary situations, we use must. So how can we rewrite this sentence? The doctor says she must sleep 8 hours every night. So the doctor says she must sleep 8 hours every night. This is the right sentence. Look at the fourth one. It is right that you show respect towards elders and affection towards youngsters. So this is your moral obligation. For moral obligation, we use ought to. So how can we rewrite this sentence? You ought to show respect towards elders and affection towards youngsters. This is the right way. Look at the fifth question. If you want to stay healthy, exercise regularly. So, if you want to stay healthy, exercise regularly. It's a condition. A condition in which strong advice is given. A strong advice is given. For strong advice, we use must instead of should. So, you can write that if you want healthy, you must exercise regularly. If you want healthy, you must exercise regularly. Look at the next sentence. Question number 6. It is good for you to take a walk every morning. It is good for you to take a walk every morning. This is a suggestion. For suggestion, we use should. You should take a walk every morning. Look at the next sentence. Sentence number 7. It is strongly advised that you don't stand on your head. Here, strong advice. For strong advice, we use must. So we can rewrite this sentence as you mustn't You mustn't stand on your head. Look at the last sentence. As he has a cold, it is better for him to go to bed. As he has a cold, it is better for him to go to bed. Better. That is a suggestion. We can rewrite the sentence as he has a cold, he should go to bed. He should go to bed. Come to the next page. Use should, must, ought to appropriately in the following sentences. Look at the first one. People who live in glass houses dash not throw stones. Here is a simple suggestion. So for simple suggestion, we use should. Look at the next sentence. You dash wipe your feet before coming into the house, especially during the rains. You dash wipe your feet before coming into the house. This is an instruction, especially during the rains, especially when it is rainy season. You dash wipe your feet before coming into the house. So it's a kind of compulsory situation. Compulsion. For compulsion we use must. Look at the next one. You dash do what the teacher tells you. You dash do what the teacher tells you. What the teacher tells you, you dash do. So that is also a kind of compulsion in the tone. A must to do or a necessary. It is a necessary thing. So you can use you must. Look at the fourth sentence. The pupils were told that they dash write more neatly. So the pupils were told that, pupils means students, the students were told that they dash write more neatly. It's a suggestion. For suggestion we use should. Look at the next sentence. Sign in front of a park. You dash not walk on the grass. This is again an instruction. A strict instruction. You dash not walk on the grass. You must not walk on the grass. Look at the next question. You dash be ashamed of yourself having made such a remark. You dash be ashamed of yourself having made such a remark. So this is a moral obligation. Moral obligation. So for moral obligation we use ought to. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Next question. He left home at 9 o'clock. He dash be here any minute. He should be here. Because he left home at 9 o'clock. He should be here any minute. So the possibility we can say. Look at the 8th exercise. Whatever happened to the chocolate cake? How dash I know? I have just arrived. So here an indefinite situation. Whatever happened to the chocolate? How should I know? So here should. How should I know? I have just arrived. Now let us learn a little more about these three should. Should is used for opinion. For example, everyone should read this story. Everyone should read the story. It is amazing. So this is a personal opinion. Everyone should read this story. You are not compelling anybody. You are just presenting your opinion. That is, it is a very interesting story. Everyone should read it. Another example is the government should reduce the price of petrol. So here also it's an opinion. The government should reduce the price of petrol. It is a personal opinion, which means that if the government does like this, it is beneficial. So you are suggesting a way. So should can be used for presenting our opinion. Second use is advice. Example, you should buy the blue one. So it's an advice to your friend or somebody so close to you. You should buy the blue one. It's only an advice. It is not a compulsion, or you are not forcing anybody to choose the blue one. You are just advising. You should buy the blue one. Another example, you shouldn't go school late every day. So this is another way of advising somebody. So you shouldn't go school late every day. So this is a kind of advice. The third use of should is to criticize. To criticize. You shouldn't have told this to your mother. So what you told your mother is wrong. So you are criticized them. You shouldn't have told this to your mother. So for criticizing also we can use should. For another example, he should have studied harder for the exam. So he should have studied harder for the exam. So it is also a criticism. He did not perform well in the exam, so he couldn't score that much mark. So his friend or teacher or parent criticizing his action that he should have studied harder for the exam. Then the use of ought to. Ought to actually means should. But it is more formal and less common. More formal and less common. We usually use should in the place of ought to in several occasions. But one thing we have to remember is ought to is more stronger. Ought to is stronger than should, but not as strong as must. So should, ought to and must. The degree of strength going upward as it moves forward. This is more stronger than ought to, and ought to is more stronger than should. This is the way in which we use should, ought to and must. One difference between should and ought to is should is used for general obligations. While ought to is used for moral obligations. Look at the sentences here. Example: everyone should respect one's country. This is a general obligation. Everyone should respect one's country. But ought to is moral obligation. We ought to look after our aged parents. We ought to look after our aged parents. This is the moral obligation, and here everyone should respect one's country. That is the general obligation. Look at must. It is more stronger than ought to and should. So you can say that you must consult a doctor as your condition is getting worse every day. So it's a must. You must consult a doctor, which means no other option before you other than go and consult a doctor. A most necessary, unavoidable situation, that is must. And if you say that you should consult a doctor, you should consult a doctor is only a suggestion that you put forward. It is not serious. I am just advising you, or I am just suggesting you consult a doctor. No compulsion is there in this sentence. No compulsion is there. But here compulsion is there. No other way is left. So that is the difference between should, ought to and must. Now let us go back to the textbook. Look at this one. Two or more single sentences can be combined to form a single sentence. Read the following. I made an effort and was pleased with myself. This sentence is in fact a combination of two sentences. I made an effort, that is, I made an effort, and this sentence is connected with and. I was pleased with myself. This was stands for this I. So I was pleased with myself. Now read this sentence. I did not see why he should shake it. This is also a combination of two sentences. First sentence is I did not see it. I did not see what? This it. I did not see it. Why should he shake it? Why should he shake it? This is a statement and change it into a question. For changing a statement into a question, you simply interchange the auxiliary verb and a subject. Interchanging of the places of auxiliary verb and the subject. Then you will get the question form. Question form is WH word plus auxiliary verb, or you can say helping verb with verb, main verb. This is the format of a question. Divide each of the following sentences into its parts. Write meaningful parts. If necessary, supply a word or two to make each part meaningful. You can supply a word or two to make the part meaningful. I went to the tool shed to see what I could find. Make it into three parts. You can write I went to the tool shed. This is a complete sentence because I is the subject, went to is the main verb, tool shed is the object. So you need subject, verb and object for a complete sentence. Like that, I went to the tool shed. So this is the first sentence. Again, one verb, to see. We have to give subject to this. To see is another part of a sentence. So I went to see. Subject plus verb plus to plus verb, or to infinitive. To infinitive is used here. I went to see. Then next question. What I could find. This is a statement. You have to change it into a question. For changing it into a question, you bring the auxiliary verb before the noun. So third sentence is what could I find? What could I find? So these three parts combined together to make a single sentence. I went to the tool shed to see what could find. The three sentences are I went to the tool shed, first sentence, I went to see, second sentence, and the third sentence is what could I find? Come to the next sentence. When I came back, he was sitting on the ground. Two parts. So, when I came back. So, when I came back, he was sitting on the ground. So, he was sitting on the ground when I came back. So first sentence you can write it as he was sitting on the ground. That is the first sentence. When is a conjunction, not a question. So you can write I came back. I came back is one sentence, and he was sitting on the ground is the second sentence. Look at the next sentence. We may as well see what's the matter with it. Now it is out. Change or convert it into three sentences. We may as well see what is the matter with it. So the first sentence is we may as well see. This is subject, auxiliary verb, then main verb. We may as well see. So this is a complete sentence. Second sentence is what is the matter with it? What is the matter with it? What is the matter with it? Third sentence is now it is out. So here also you can see subject, verb and object. What is the matter with it? Question. Question form WH, auxiliary verb, then object. Look at the next sentence. He said he hoped we had got them all. So we can convert this into he said is the first statement. He hoped, that is the second. We had got them all. This is the third. So three parts. He said, he hoped, we had got them all. Next. I had to confess, he was right. I had to confess, he was right. First and second. Now look at the fourth question. N acts as a prefix put at the beginning or as a suffix put at the end to form new words. So N as prefix and suffix. Prefix means in front. Suffix means at the back. Look at this. N plus courage, encourage. This is an example of prefix. And weak plus N, weaken, that is suffix. En at the beginning or at the end of a word is not always a prefix or a suffix. It is then an integral part of the word. In certain words, it is an integral part of the word. It may not be prefix or suffix. Look at this word. Ending, barren. These two words, En is not a prefix or a suffix. It is an integral part of the word. Now look at this question. Now arrange the words given in the box under the three headings: prefix, suffix and part of the word. The words are encourage, barren, fasten, even, dampen, endanger, enclose, enable, listen, soften, weaken, enclave. Look at that. First word, encourage, that is prefix. encourage. Barren. Barren we have already learned that it is part of a word. Fasten. That is suffix. Then even. Even is part of a word. Then dampen. Dampen is suffix. Endanger. Dampen means wet something, slightly making things wet. That is dampen. Damp or dampen, make things wet. Then endanger. It is a prefix, endanger. Then enclose. Enclose is a prefix. And enable. It is also a prefix. Enable. Now look at the word listen. Listen is part of, N is part of the word listen. It is not suffix or prefix. It is not a suffix. It is part of a word. Then soften. That is suffix. Weaken. That is suffix. Then enclave. Enclave is part of a word. N. It is not prefix. Enclave means a particular place or a particular group of people that is different from the general or the entire area. That is enclave. A group or a particular place that is different from the entire area, or a place that is surrounded by a country, that is enclave. Come to the next. Find new words in your textbook and put them under the same headings. You can also find new words of using prefixes and suffixes, and you can write in the notebook.